Welcome back, everyone, to this special episode, the DC FanDome special episode of Real Talk Live, where we are going to be talking about everything that was announced and all the trailers, all the teasers, and all the announcements. Um, so, oh, how are you all doing? First of all,
Good.
Pretty good,
Excited for
man.
what we
Pretty
saw.
good. Well, pretty hyped. Pretty hyped. Like
Don't
you
mind
have
me.
this kind
Look
of
a bit sleepy.
yeah, it's 3 a.m. here.
you have this adrenaline going through you. Like you're just hyped after that Batman trailer. It was the greatest way to end this whole event.
That's what is helping like keep me awake. That trailer was like total hype.
Absolutely.
Not gonna be able to get through. Not gonna be able to get through the rest of the day with that. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. We'll definitely be talking about the Batman, but I was hoping we would go in a sequence, the way they did it. But I don't remember what the sequence is exactly. But yes, we will definitely be covering all the panels, well, except the CW ones and Superman
Thank
and
you.
Lois. Just kidding.
Always skipping
Do
out
you
the
want-
Superman and Lois.
Yeah.
Do you want to start with the five top films first, and then like work our way down to the Batman?
Sure, yeah. Well, I won't say I have my order ready here, and we don't even agree with that order yet. So let's just start with Black Adam because that's the first thing they showed us, right?
Right.
So before we get into it, I want to hear Umbrish's thoughts because he's the Hawkman stan over here, and he has been looking forward to Black Adam more than anyone else here. So I'll ask him first.
Yeah. I feel that people are seriously underestimating this movie. I think it is going to be a surprise for a lot of people. Not just because quite a lot of people are not really familiar with like Justice Society of America characters or Hawkman or Black Adam, or not because of that. I was very skeptical about how they would be portraying that little that just Black Adam just grabs the soldier and he's like turned to dust and the skeleton falls. I was like, okay, that's the kind of brutal stuff I want to see in the movie. I know, but I didn't want them to like nerf Black Adam down. He's a brutal character, and that like, the opening scene was pretty good. I know they're yet to like finish the VFX and also that was great. The speaking about the Justice Society of America, I don't know if a lot of people have read it, but it is an entire chapter of the DC universe which is yet to be explored in live action. So very, very, very hyped for that. The as you said, the Hawkman logo, total chills, man. The logo was great. All the uh, hearing Pierce Brosnan talk about how big this movie is going to be, and I totally forgot for some reason that Pierce Brosnan was in this movie. So that elevates the movie even higher for me. Him being as Doctor Fate, and I just loved everything about that. I actually loved that little teaser or whatever presentation they had more than the Flash one. We'll come to the Flash later, but it's like after the Batman, this was like my second most hype. Uh, I'm excited to see more, and I'm really excited to see how they go from this brutal skull crushing anti-hero to Shazam, because the Shazam really should be like scared in their pants right now. Because really interesting how they tie it in, and I'm sure there's going to be a post credits where they give us a hint. Maybe he comes into Philadelphia or whatever. But I'm really excited for all that to happen. Even the Shazam 2 thing, which will come to, was actually very exciting as well. So I'm totally up for it. The suit look good. All everything. I'm just so happy with that teaser.
Awesome. Yeah, and it's a really great birthday gift for you.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I totally blanked out and like dozed off for a few minutes during the Black Adam part, and I had to. I think Brian passed me that it's on the rocks timeline and all that, and then I checked it out. Great. I'm completely happy with where they're going. The director, Jomek Collett said, I think he's only directed one or two big movies before. So I was not really aware of his record and how he's gonna deal with, because as I said, Black Adam in essence is an anti-hero. You cannot make him a hero. You can. He has a sympathetic story in like his family was tortured, and he was tortured and enslaved and all that. So he has a sympathetic story, but he's not a sympathetic character. You can't sympathize with him with how what he does later on. So the blacks the Rock, straight out playing an anti-hero like this uh, is very refreshing for a change, and I'm loving this. I'm loving the Rock's entry into the comic book movie world, and just totally have for great birthday gift for me, as you rightly said.
Yeah. What about you, Brian?
I can't wait, man. I think we've all been very anxious for him to show up since he was first cast in the position, and we all probably kept thinking, when's it gonna come to be? When's it gonna come to be? When's it gonna come to be? And it finally we're gonna get some kind of payoff on it. And I'm very excited to wait to see what we're gonna get with what we saw. I think that this is gonna be probably the Rock's best performance out of everything he's had so far, because he's had so much time to get ready for it. It seems like he's so invested in the process, and the way he talks about it, and the way other people have talked about it after talking to him, it really seems like he's got his hands very, very much in the production and choosing where it's going to go. So I think it's going to be the most involvement from The Rock that we've seen in any of his movies, and it's definitely going to turn out to be the best one of his movies.
Yeah. Hey, Fran, would you mind turning your phone a little bit because it's coming vertical?
I'd like to add something to what like Brian said. Truly, this it doesn't come across as some corporate mandated movie.
Yeah.
It is a project, and you can see that passion flow. And if you learn some passion that they deliver on different level, this is mindset won't go. So I'm hoping that the director is also as passionate as the Rock is, but you can really see it through uh, each and everything, each presentation. I know we've all gotten tired of that the hierarchy of power in the DC universe line, uh, but yeah, but all that. But uh, I hope the director has his passion, and I think Brian is right that it being this kind of a long term, I think almost 10 years, I think 10, not 10, but 7, 8 years he's wanted to be Black Adam. So I hope it comes through and we get to see something. See, this is what I expect from DC. I think this is what we all expect from DC. Not every movie should be a Snyder movie, but we expect it to be something different. We expect it to take us places where we won't go, or a comic book movie won't go usually. So I think Black Adam is going in the right direction.
That's great. Um, Rokan?
Well, of the DC, I guess the DCEU type of lineup that we've gotten announced, like this is probably my most anticipated, just because we've talked about the fact that it's been The Rock's passion project since '07. He's really been wanting to do this for a long time, and he's stuck with it. And I think you can see that kind of like come out with just how much he's been promoting the hell out of that movie, and the fact that he's put teases. And I mean, the dude's gotten probably bigger than he's ever gotten in his life, which because he wants to look like the Black Adam from the comic books, which I don't know that was humanly possible, but it is. So, but yeah, I mean, from what we've seen, I like what we've seen so far. I like the fact that, as you mentioned earlier, that they are committing to the fact that Black Adam is an anti-hero. That he's one of those guys that he's not necessarily an all-out good guy, but he's not an all-out bad guy either. You know what I mean? Like he will fight the foes that are worse than him, I guess is the best way to describe it. So I like the fact they are committing to that, because a lot of these anti-hero movies that you've seen, they lean more towards one side than the other. They don't hit that kind of like that gray zone that you'd want them to. And I think with something like Black Adam, as you see, you watch in the footage.
Okay, it's fine now.
Or?
Yeah, do continue.
Okay, so yeah, so like you look at the footage right here, and you see him just wiping all these random dudes out. It is, it is like a it's what an anti-hero movie should be. So I like that, and I also kind of like the feel of it too. You know, I mean, this feels like a big like globe-trotting adventure, which is funny because it is from the director of Jungle Cruise, so it does give that kind of like that spirit of adventure type of vibe to it, just with the JSA and Black Adam. So I like what I've seen so far. I imagine we'll probably get a trailer sometime for Matrix, but yeah, that's just what I'm thinking. But yeah, I dig it.
Awesome. Ishan, what did you think of the Black Adam teaser?
Did it work now?
Oh, Ishan's audio is fucked. Hey, Fran. Yes, now it works fine. And
yeah, Fran, we can
and Alex as well.
Yo.
Yeah. Hey, cool shirt, man.
So, what did you guys think of the Black Adam teaser?
Perfect.
It was definitely cut in the perfect way to set the right tone for the movie. I don't think anybody's going to expect a happy-go-lucky, fun movie with what we got as the trailer. Everybody knows what we're going to get. He's going to be pretty brutal.
Right.
Exactly. And also, it kind of like fills the little vacuum that we have. We have missing with the next DC films.
Right. Sean, what did you think of it?
Okay, my audio.
Yeah, so it was the opening sequence of the movie is what they said at the event. So obviously these people come across, they're looking for something, some artifact or something, and they come across Black Adam. I think the woman says Shazam as well. I think maybe she was reading the symbols on the ground, whatever encryption that was. She read it and it said Shazam, and then obviously summoned Black Adam for some reason, which I'm sure will be explained in the movie. And of course, Shazam wasn't anywhere around during the sequence. And Black Adam, like I thought, just off the top of my head, I thought Black Adam would be brought into our society, our world right now, looked at as this hero, and maybe he sees something by bringing this team together, the Justice Society of America, to help America or the world, and he thinks there's something in it for himself. And but in that opening sequence, he killed the guy. He didn't just kill a guy; he erased the guy completely from existence. He just grabbed him, and that guy is gone. There's no body or anything. So that was pretty brutal. And then the soldiers tried to shoot him and stuff like that, but there's no way any of them made it out alive. And he just looks so powerful. And I love the catching of the bullet. Reminded me of Batman v Superman, where Henry Cavill caught the bullet from Affleck. So that's a good little tie in there. It's a good little reference, and that's something that should be appreciated, because if we want Henry Cavill to come back, I think that's a good sign, because they have the same agent. The Rock is a businessman. He's not a politics guy like Warner Brothers and shit like that. If he wants Henry Cavill, he probably will get Henry Cavill at some stage in the Black Adam trilogy or in the verse with Shazam. But yeah, it was a pretty brutal opening, and it showed him to be a villain. So like, no, like he could take out all those people, but nobody knows he did that when he goes into the world and stuff, like, because there's like it's not like that was an open public or media or anything with cameras or anything like that. That's away from everything. So like nobody can say that was him. So I do think he will be playing kind of two sides of the story, good and bad, and then by the end, he shows his true colors as a real anti-hero, and then maybe sets up something for Superman or Shazam to take him down in future movies. But yeah, I'm interested. We got Pierce Brosnan being added to this is it's a big win for Warner Bros. Because he's a great actor, and even he said himself that he's worked on multiple James Bond movies, and this compares nothing to any of those. And James Bond is one of the most successful franchises consistently of all time. So he's pretty impressed with what they're doing. The Rock, of course, will make a fun, friendly, popcorn-driven movie, but then again, I think we can expect something a little bit different with this one because he has been tapped to play the character since 2007. So that's a long time since people kind of talked about him playing the character. So I do think he's not waiting around for this role for 15 years just to make a mediocre popcorn movie. I think there will be some awesome sequences in it, some teams in it as well that will drive forward into future installments. So yeah, I think this is pretty promising. And it comes out next summer. July 23rd, I think, or 22nd. So yeah, it was a great first look. I would have liked in the teaser they showed the full suit because that image did leak a few hours beforehand of the suit. But they probably that probably shows that they didn't have a plan to show it at DC FanDome fully because they didn't really reveal it. And then that leaked online, and they still didn't reveal it because, of course, these recordings were done months ago, so they couldn't do anything last minute. But The Rock might release a HD still in the next few hours, next few days, because when he realizes the real one, they leaked that one. So yeah, pretty badass way to kick off DC FanDome, and yeah, it was great. No complaints.
One question about the leaked suit to you all. Do you think the yellow lighting part, what was not lit on purpose because it was saved for VFX? Or do you think it's like it's a depowered version initially? It's the part of the story. Like, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I think so because the yellow is not fully gone or is not fully available. So it's kind of like deteriorated. So I do think that's part of that.
Also, either deteriorated or it could be corrupted at the same time.
Probably. One thing that we actually don't know if who the bigger threat is. Obviously, like, I mean, if they keep Black Adam as a threat, no, not in a not in a meta level. We all know who the bigger. There is a bigger threat than Walter Hamada in that sense. But no, but like in the movie, we still don't know. Like, if Black Adam is the villain and then the other characters, Hawkman and Cyclone and Smash, when they come to, they're recruited to stop him. We don't know yet. Obviously, Rock being the Rock, I don't think he's gonna be this outright villain. So they're gonna get a bigger threat and they'll come together and fight them and all that. I think that is how it's gonna go. But they've not smartly, they've not given us an idea of what the bigger threat is going to be. And I hope they keep it that way. They don't reveal it in some damn trailer, which is definitely going to happen. They're going to reveal it in some stupid trailer and kill the excitement. But I hope they don't do that.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I also thought that the trailer was pretty good. I was not expecting that at all. I thought it would probably be more like the Flash teaser that we got, because it's kind of the first look unfinished version. But it was pretty amazing seeing the part where he just lifts off the ground and catches a bullet, and he just murders a person on camera. And I was not expecting that because for a lot of years he's been saying that that obviously the hierarchy line, and he's been saying that he's going to be a hero and stuff. So I was kind of worried, but recently this year he said something like he's going to be very dangerous and something like that, and then he said anti-hero, and then I was like, okay, now you get it. So the first teaser showing that actually put me a lot of relief. And I now am fully sold onto the movie because I was already excited for the JSA stuff and the Egypt stuff. Um, that kind of stuff interests me. But now I'm even more hyped because it looks dark and I cannot wait.
Yeah.
No, it was pretty badass, and the Rock sure knows how to get like engagement going and to be in the talk of online buzz. So yeah, he did amazing. And, like the marketing campaign for this movie will be better than the previous 3 or 4 DC movies, because since probably Wonder Woman in 2017, the marketing for every DC movie, maybe Aquaman as well, every DC movie has been poor. Birds of Prey, The Suicide Squad, Shazam, really poor marketing that resulted in a poor box office run out. So I think this one will be marketed big time with more trailers. The Rock being so active on social media. I don't think this movie has anything to worry about, especially coming out next summer. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. So yeah.
Well, it's because it's
but the way he talks about. Go ahead. Sorry, please.
Oh, sure. Yeah, sure. I'll be quick. But I look at it like this. You know, when you look at like one of the reasons why the marketing for Birds of Prey, Suicide Squad, or Shazam has kind of like failed is because of the fact that it's marketing run by a team. Like people in an office, they just sit around and they just think this is how we can sell a movie. Whereas The Rock is a natural salesman. He's spent his entire career in pro wrestling selling matches, so he knows how to kind of like sell things to an audience. So when it comes to movies, it's why his movies make billions of dollars. It's why the Fast franchise didn't start making billions until he showed up, because he knew how to market that. You know what I mean? So I think it's going to be a case where the marketing is going to be led by him, and it'll make a pretty good amount. I don't know if it'll make $1 billion. We'll see, but I could see it make like Wonder Woman 1 money.
We didn't even hear the director talk, and it was all him. So just imagine how much power, influence, and all that stuff he has over this movie. And you're absolutely right. He knows how to sell the movie. He knows how to hype people up. That's why I think from the get-go, his byline has been to challenge Superman, because he is the top one here, right? So
yeah,
he has been posting pictures with Henry Cavill and hyping up that fight since so many years. And finally, in this teaser, he catches a bullet. So with that one shot, he just showed us that he's at least as powerful as Superman, right? So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, The Rock has always been very outspoken. I mean, he was known in wrestling to be one of the best guys on the mic in the history of wrestling. So there's no way that he's not going to promote this, and it's absolutely going to come out. His personality is going to come out in the marketing. So it's going to be a very loudly marketed movie. One thing that I'm curious to see. Well, first, did anybody else get kind of hints of Mummy when they first entered the tomb?
Absolutely.
A little bit. A little bit of Mummy and a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely caught a lot of Mummy vibes coming into that, which was
Moon Enchantress scene from Suicide Squad.
Yeah, it just kind of felt funny because when they walk into the tomb to see Black Adam is the same way that they walked in to see the Scorpion King, and how he kind of revealed himself in almost the same way. I thought that was kind of ironic, a little fun to see.
I think it was intentional though.
Yeah, I think so too. But because they also
have like a Scorpion King Easter egg in that film.
Definitely,
yeah,
definitely.
Rock is there, yeah.
Yeah.
Based in Egyptian culture, they have to have that kind of.
Yeah, and they talked about how they're going to use the culture a lot, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
So we're going to see a lot of iconic scenes from Egypt. So one thing that I am curious about, though, are they going to downsize him like they did with Chris Evans and Captain America? Because in the comics, what is his character's name? I can't remember when he's not Black Adam, just the mortal name.
Dwayne Johnson.
That's something.
Anyway,
something. Yeah.
When he is that character, he was always depicted as kind of average sized in the books. So I wonder if they're going to downsize him with some CG.
I think one of the concept art where he's a slave and he was being whipped. I think in that one, I think he is slimmer than what he is.
Mhm.
I think
So that
they'll
could be a
probably
flashback.
throw like a
Yeah,
code
yeah.
or
Let
a
me look
cloak
for
over
that.
him. I don't think they're gonna like
Right.
do the
if
whole
you look at
chrysalis
the
thing on him.
if you look at the teaser trailer from yesterday, that wasn't featured today at DC FanDome at all. There was a shot of Black Adam flying in some kind of area with buildings. I don't know if the buildings were destroyed or what just happened there. If there was a big massive fight, but his waist was was not very small, but it was slimmer than his upper body. So I think by the end of this movie, Black Adam gets even more powerful and maybe even is bigger. His like because that it did look abnormal. His chest looked huge. I know The Rock is a big guy anyway, but his body isn't shaped like that even right now. So I wonder why that was in that scene. Maybe it's unfinished visual effects and CGI and stuff. I don't know, but he just looked.
It could be
massive.
maybe like a camera perspective or something regarding the.
Yeah,
He looks
it could be.
somewhat like
yeah.
Rock.
Oh, I just thought that was interesting.
It looks somewhat like Rock size in the concept art. You can see it right there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's cool.
That's what I said. I don't think they're gonna downsize him. They're just gonna throw a hood or a cloak over him just to make him look like he's being whipped by superior people.
Yeah.
One thing on my wish list for Black Adam. Imagine this: it's a post-credit scene, and okay, they have two, like one which references Shazam, and then suddenly you cut to the offices of the Daily Planet, and Clark Kent is being given an assignment to go investigate something like an artifact or something with reference to the Black Adam. Can you imagine like
That would
what
be great.
that would be?
That would be interesting.
Yeah, just I like Cavill doesn't even have to dress up. You could just have to
He
get
did the same thing in
Perry White.
BVS. He was investigating Batman.
Yeah, so I mean, we know at the end of Zack Snyder's Justice League with the shirt open and all, somehow he's back. I don't know, although how in universe they are going to explain Clark Kent, the reporter, being dead and back. So that is a different question. But just a thing on my wish list is like, imagine this scene, like Perry White comes in, Ken, go check this out or something like that, and he throws something on his desk and like you see Clark look up with the glasses and all, and then it cuts there. That would be like just. That would definitely ensure that Cavill is coming in for a Black Adam to, grand fight scene or something like that.
Absolutely, that'd be cool.
yeah.
Hey, friend. So what did you think of the Black Adam trailer
friend.
or teaser? Oh, she's gone again.
Hi,
Ishan?
first, I'm so sorry for
Okay.
what happened.
No worries.
And well, I was impressed. I didn't have a lot of expectations for that teaser. I thought we would not see much, and I ended up being like very impressed with what we got. But there are a few aspects of the event. I don't know if I can talk about it now, or if I will even be able to talk about it. But there are
Cliffhanger.
Bad internet everywhere.
And it's back.
I liked it, and I think The Rock is the perfect casting for the character. I think we're gonna be very blessed with his acting, or maybe not. We never know. But aspect that made me very upset is the fact that we didn't have any visions of Zack Snyder's Justice League, like we got of the Suicide Squad. It's like they completely as if it didn't happen, and I.
Oh, your audio is not working now.
I think she's got Garza's internet.
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Anything?
Nope. There's no audio from your end.
I think what? Yeah, I think she can
Yeah.
hear us, but we can't hear her.
If you could rejoin, then maybe it will work. Ishan, is your fix now?
You guys should
Yes.
tell me. I mean,
Finally,
is it clear right now? Okay.
So, what did you
Yeah.
think of Black Adam?
I'm having a lot of technical difficulties. For Black Adam,
Just say it quick
specifically,
before you go.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, I actually came into the trailer for Black Adam. I actually was pretty, I wouldn't say I was a hater, but I wasn't the most optimistic about how the movie would turn out, especially given the director. And, you know, he's done a lot of Liam Neeson action movies, and I was a little bit concerned, but seeing that first look and seeing just how much how impactful the action is, I think it was actually really great, and I'm really it's one of my top, it's on my one of the top of my most anticipated films coming out next year. So I absolutely loved it.
I would say that it was my biggest surprise, I think, for today.
Yeah, it was definitely
the Flash footage. I was not expecting them to show that, but
yeah,
I knew what to expect, right? So I wasn't as surprised as I was with Black Adam, because this completely, it was completely different in my head, you know, because of the PG-13 aspect of it. But now it does look like it's going to be dark, and the character will be, you know, done justice. And right in the first teaser, he killed someone. So that says a lot.
Yeah, and I have to say, the way he did do that, it was I don't think that's ever been shown before. Someone cooking someone from the inside out. That was absolutely insane.
Yeah. Do you think it was worse than what Henry Cavill did to Batman in Heroes Park in Justice League?
I mean, it has to. It definitely was.
Batman was definitely bleeding. We all know that.
Yeah.
Something was bleeding.
I thought we'd never mention that thing ever again.
Funnily enough, they showed apparently they showed some kind of footage for Wonder Woman during that 80th anniversary thing. Apart from that, I didn't notice anything else from that movie. Any footage.
Did they announce Wonder Woman 3?
They
essentially announced Wonder Woman 3.
They did, but
they announced that they were.
Yeah, it's
he had a tweet out, right? Wonder Woman 3.
Yeah, he just tweeted something right now.
Sorry,
the secret's out or something like that. Let's see if I can find it.
The secret's out. Is that what he said?
No, Jim Lee put in Wonder Woman 3 confirmed to DC FanDome.
All right.
With the original beautiful Wonder Woman.
Yeah, we're probably going to see Linda Carter get a bigger role for the sequel, and Patty Jenkins will direct after the Star Wars film, which gets done that. So yeah, it was Wonder Woman 3 was never in doubt anyway. It was always going to happen.
No, it wasn't.
Whether or not Patty
the question was whether it would be Patty coming back.
They should get the director.
Yeah, that was a big question, but it would have been a bit. It would have been a bit sour to get rid of Patty Jenkins after the second one, because she did so well in the first one. And I think I liked Wonder Woman 84. I know a lot of people here didn't like it. I liked it a lot. I think if you bring in a better stunt team or action sequences into that movie, overall it is done a little bit better, and the ending could do a little bit of work. But it's not as bad as people take it out. I think the main message of the movie was presented pretty well about love and stuff, and love story between her and Steve. That was that's
I'm with you,
back, Casey. That's just, it was done really well. It was done really well. I thought the relationship, especially that scene where she has to say goodbye to Steve again, and then she runs away and she's crying. That's a really
that scene was great.
Yeah,
I like the scene where
I
remember his name, has to talk to his kid. I like that scene from Wonder Woman.
Maxwell.
Yeah, Maxwell.
I look at it,
and their dynamic. I like that.
I look at it like this. I'm always willing to give anybody kind of like the benefit of the doubt, and I look at it like this. Patty's made an incredible film with the first Wonder Woman, and I think with the second movie, she can learn her mistakes from what she did in the sequel, and then make a third movie that, I mean, it may not be on the same level as the first one, but can be pretty damn close.
Right.
I mean,
I agree with you.
I'm just too optimistic, I guess. But
no, I do agree with you. I think that she isn't at a place where we can say that, oh, she's just terrible, just change the director. I don't think we can be, we can say that. She's not at that point. If you want to look at facts, it's 1 out of 2, which is great, and it's a 50-50 chance, right? So
yeah,
one more movie with her and a different writer, maybe bring back Alan Heinberg, who is great for the first one. That would really work well, I think.
I think a lot of what went wrong with in my opinion, a lot of what went wrong with Wonder Woman 84 is really, you can really tell it's Jeff Johns, his involvement in the script, and
I think it's Patty as well,
what he
because
added.
she also added story.
I think Patty had.
She allowed it to happen, and
so
she has a story credit.
I'm not putting the blame solely on Jeff Johns, but I think adding him onto Patty's vision, I think that's what really drove it over the edge. I mean, in the first one, we can also say that I'm not sure. Does Patty have a story credit for Wonder Woman 1 or no?
No, not for 1. She has for 2.
No. Okay, so I'm not sure what she would have done differently in 1 if she did have that story credit, but you can definitely tell her directing and her vision reflected with Zach's and Heinberg's and their story. It really makes for this really beautiful film. And I think in Wonder Woman 84, the main thing that was missing was it's just Patty and Johns, and I feel like they have this one kind of linear path for the character of Wonder Woman, and I think that just really affected the film in a sense where you really just only see one side of the character, and I think that's the side of the character not a lot of people were really looking forward to when they were going into the movie, and I think that's where the shortcomings start.
And I agree with Maher in the sense that I think the intent behind the choices for this movie was good, and I can understand on paper it kind of works on paper, what she was doing, but the execution was so bad, at least to me, because she kind of seemed like a completely different character from what we've seen from BVS, from the first Wonder Woman, and now even the Snyder Cut, right? So Zach also does Wonder Woman very well. Like in the Snyder Cut, she is that fierce warrior as well as she's that lovable, talking to the kid and being kind and all that. So it doesn't have to be one or the other. She can be both, and she has always been both. So I think that was missing in the second movie.
I think that's the whole point of Wonder Woman as a character. Like Najeed, I mean, maybe you can understand it well because coming from an Indian culture, we just had Navratri, which is a goddess festival. Goddesses are supposed to represent the feminine is supposed to represent the soft power as well as the hard power, the power of a warrior as well as love. So Wonder Woman as a character is always supposed to represent that balance. You can't tilt her in one favor and call her Wonder Woman anymore, and that is the basic problem with 1984 Wonder Woman 1984. I do agree with Mar that it had some interesting ideas. I liked where it was going. I didn't like how it went there. Let's put it that way. Obviously, Johns was the problem, and we all know that. But that's the best way I can put it. Or the stunt work was horrible. Let's admit that. The writing was good. I would say could have been much better. I think what Snyder brings to Wonder Woman is that aspect of the goddess thing. That she's still invulnerable goddess, but still to humanize her and the way she connects with people. Steve brings her connection to humanity, like how Lois Lane is to Superman. That parallel is there. So I think Snyder balances that a lot more, a lot better. Sorry. So that aspect is missing. I don't know what direction they would take for Wonder Woman 3. A lot of people have this. I think somebody had on Twitter proposed this, her escaping from the underworld or some kind, that kind of a very ultra mythical. Like they took her into the depowered story. So a lot of
Yeah.
people wanted to go into that like Ares, whole like mythical god of war stuff, and I think that should be the direction to go.
Yeah. I think the problem also is, you know how these gifts are thrown around, right? On Twitter about her, just getting shot by a bullet and stuff. That would work if she has lost her power temporarily, but she never got back to being that powerful goddess again in that movie. And she was just getting thrown around by the wind in the end. It didn't help at all.
Dude, that was some
Um,
Bollywood stuff. Okay, like
yeah,
literally, like that was some 70s, 80s Bollywood.
it was
No, no,
very,
no, no,
very
no.
bad.
Horrible.
Yeah.
It seemed to
But
me
yeah,
like Patty was
So
so
that we
Patty was so interested in keeping the 1980s theme that everything else suffered, whether it was the story or the direction of the movie. She was so intent on keeping that 80s theme, and then she still missed the mark on that. I didn't see a whole lot of wardrobe or music references that maybe should have been there.
Mhm.
exactly.
Yeah,
I don't
She
even know why it
missed so
was
much.
set in the 80s.
yeah. I mean, watching Wonder Woman 84, it really feels like it's just another. I mean, when you're making a movie and you're making it for the 80s, it should be an 80s movie. I mean, you need to have those tropes. But this just felt like it was set in the past. Like there's no real connection to the 80s. It's just that, oh, here's Wonder Woman in the past again.
Yeah.
I mean, at least that's how it was for me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I hope the next movie
we,
that they are
yeah.
talking about, I hope that's set in modern day, because I would love
Yeah.
for the modern day Wonder Woman to be, in a movie again. And I am kind of happy about them saying that, they're still working on it, because I don't want that movie to not get made. So at least it's getting made, so that's a good thing. But I don't think it's going to come anytime soon, because she
Yeah.
is very busy right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so moving on from the Wonder Woman thing, to Max.
Can I just say
So
one
we
thing?
really segued, man.
Max, hey,
Hi.
how are
Hi.
you?
Hey, Max.
Fine, thank you. I a bit tipsy and okay, fine.
Tipsy.
Drinking some
I
of that
just
I
fine
wanted,
envy
Italian wine.
your Funko collection, Max.
yeah.
What were you gonna say?
I just
I
wanted
said
to
I
say
envy your
that
Funko collection.
I'm hearing something about a question.
Your Funko collection, your pops.
No,
He's liking
go.
it.
Oh yeah, they're a few. They're just a small part of. They're the most organized of the Funko I own. So that's the only one you'll see. But I have like 3 times more around the room. But I wanted
Oh,
to say
wow.
one thing. This is my favorite Batmobile. Since nobody said Affleck's Batmobile, this is my favorite Batmobile. Just wanted to, throw this out there.
Agreed.
Only Keaton, only Keaton. I don't get the love. But hi, how are you, everyone?
Good, good.
Fantastic.
I'm with Max.
So,
Okay.
did you like the show?
Yes, I did. I thought it was. I don't know if it was better than last year's, because last year's was so spread out. But the disadvantage they had was they didn't have a lot of footage to show. But this time they had footage and trailers and teasers for every single panel, and I liked that more. But the way they organized it with the CW shit in between, that was so.
Did you guys read Grace Randolph's tweet in which
Yeah.
she said that Your DC should know that your TV audience is not as much as your movie audience, and they should split that. Completely
Am I
agree with
wrong?
that.
Or last year they split it into 2 days for this reason.
Yeah, originally it was like 2 days, but it turned into 1 day for the actual showcase, and then the other day was like a month later.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a lot of people forgot that DC FanDome was actually just 1 full day and was actually 4.5 hours, but played twice. So that's why it was like more than around 24 hours that was streaming. So it was never a full 24-hour stream.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like what they did, and I am always, accepting of such events when they actually show something instead of just go there and talk about the stuff. I do appreciate the talking, which the Netflix Tudum event didn't do a lot, but I like when they show stuff because that's what people are there for, right? And they did that, so I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
Should we talk about Shazam? That featurette that we got.
Yes.
Behind the scenes kind of look.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I think Shazam.
Yeah, sure.
I would have liked to see something like the Flash or Black Adam, because I know they're only filming a few weeks, but he still gave us something where like Shazam walked into a room, a dark room, and his suit lit up. He released that a few months ago. I would have liked to see something because it's been a while. It's a while that this movie comes, and like we wait for 2023. At the minute, I'm not that hyped. I'm not that excited because why should I? It's like 2 years away, and I could be anywhere. I could be gone off this earth in 2 years. Like at least the Batman's in Mars. That's realistic for me to see the Batman. But Shazam, my interest isn't there as of yet. I know it's a while away, but like it does look. The budget looks higher than the first one. The suit looks a lot better. Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu as villains. Yeah, they don't look as intimidating villains now. But the cool creatures were in the featurette, but overall, I'm not that hyped. I like Shazam. I actually watched it the other night, and it's a really well made film. It's taken too long for a sequel. It really is.
I'm agree with you
I
for that.
actually love the Shazam feature, whatever. I agree with Maher. They should have had some kind of a clip or something, but I don't know why it was. Maybe it was because of Lucy Liu and Helen Mirren. I was hyped. I can't really put my finger on why I was. It's very weird, but I didn't really care for Shazam 2. I wasn't really excited. Anywho, after watching these, I was, because again, as I said, mainly I think it is because of Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu being there. So you have a solid star cast, and then being in possibly anti-hero villainous roles. I like where this is going, and thank God they have got a higher budget, so the VFX is going to be better, the suits are better. So I liked it. They didn't give us much, just people talking over VFX clips and concept art, but I liked it. I'm 33 today, so I'm getting older. I again forgot the fact that Lucy was in this movie. I love Lucy Liu, and after watching in the clip, I was like, yeah, it's like cool. I am on board, but it's 2 years away. It's too early to say. Yeah, I like Sandberg as a director.
Yeah,
I'm definitely on board with Shazam too. The costumes are better. The shots seem to be better. You can tell that they've given him a lot more freedoms to do what he wants to do this time around. I like the fact that they're going to bring in minotaurs and dragons and these other elements to it also. So I'm excited for it.
Shazam
Yeah, same. Wonder Woman 2 looks really good. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. Jokes aside, it really does feel like a movie that should in some way incorporate at least a bit of Wonder Woman lore or appearances or stuff like that, because, not to speak ill about Wonder Woman 84. I wouldn't dare.
You should speak ill about Wonder Woman. It's a movie that should be spoken in.
But yeah, I think that this movie could have a bit more of a mythological aspect that would really would have really helped some other movies.
I hope they have like I think this is going to happen. I don't know why, but I'm like 100% like gut feeling that this is going to happen. That Sandberg is going to put in like a shot of maybe Superman's legs this time, or some kind of.
I hope so. I hope so.
I 100%. I
This
don't
time
know
only
why,
his
but it's
face.
going to be there.
Or
The
like on the
leg this
TV,
time.
it showcases Superman in the ICU.
Or something like that, yeah. Or just a frame of his mustache, like that would be like the best.
Oh
joke
no.
ever.
Superman mustache will be in the Flash. It'll be Earth 36.
Oh yeah, that should be that. But like, I really hope like we get some kind of a. I think knowing Sandberg, his sense of humor, he would probably want. I don't know if WB will let him, but he'll probably sneak something
There's gonna
in
be
there,
some
you know,
trolls.
some Superman joke wrapped in there.
Yeah.
We got it.
Uh,
Or
Yeah,
not
I
even
thought-
Superman, like another Justice League member. Let's say we have a headless Wonder Woman just step into frame.
yeah,
Something.
yeah, or like the entire Justice League but headless. Or you have like a what
You guys are making this
name?
movie worse.
What's his name?
No. We're adding it. We're adding to it.
This is
What-
content.
I'm just watching for
We're making
watching
it
for
better.
Grace.
We're making
We're
a
making it-
fan. What's his name? Billy's friend. The character.
Freddy.
name. Freddy. So he's like already a superhero fan, right? So imagine a poster in his room, a frame with all of Justice League, but like the heads are not there. The frame is like cut right there, you know. Like you can't see the head. Something
Yeah,
like that.
that
Like a
would
passing
work.
reference, like. Sorry.
No, that would work. I would love to see that.
Yeah,
or having
he-
Sam give Freddy the camera and be like, "Hey, take a photo of us with the Justice League," and Freddy,
Yeah.
too excited, takes a shot and it's like everyone's headless.
Or they could make it so like the guy who walked into the canteen at the end, the school canteen at the end, is just some kind of a cosplayer or something like that. Like
An impersonator.
everybody's
With a
giving
mustache.
Freddy shit for like, yo, that's not Superman.
It's
He
Dean Cain.
brought in some guy.
It's Dean Cain's Superman.
They should get Ben Affleck to play that Superman.
Oh, that would be good.
Oh yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one.
This is why it's called Fury of the Gods. Because of all these ideas.
Look, if Andy's like watching this, like I hope he's taking notes.
Rokan, what did you think of the
The
panel?
gods are furious because you had a headless Superman.
Well, what I'm going to say is not going to top that. So generally what we saw from it, from what we saw of it, I'm actually kind of like excited for Shazam 2, which the one thing I kind of took away from it, aside from kind of like the new costumes, was the fact that we're actually going to have better action this time around, because, I love the first Shazam. It's a lot of fun, but I always felt like it was lacking in the action department. And you see kind of like what they're doing in the sequel right here, like they're going more all out with the action right there. I mean, you see them kind of like, you see like SWAT teams shooting, you see explosions happening, you see like wanton destruction, which you didn't get in the first Shazam. So it looks like, it looks like David's gonna kind of like
Michael Bay this shit, flipping cars and all that SWAT teams.
exactly.
Explosion
Hey,
everywhere.
things gotta explode, bro. Things gotta explode. So yeah, I think it's gonna. I think from what they're saying, it looks like it's gonna be more of a blockbuster this time around, as opposed to like the last one, which is like a Christmas family movie. So I'm excited for that. Also, I just want to say, we're getting fucking dragons, man.
In March.
Is it March?
I think
It was March.
the first
They can't really-
Shazam was very much
It was
the
March, yeah.
first Shazam was very much a learning thing for Sandberg, and I think they'll come a lot stronger with it this time.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
They released that movie in the middle of it was Captain Marvel came out, and 3 weeks later Shazam came out, and then a few weeks later Endgame came out. Worst release strategy ever. So
it didn't have a chance to breathe, but it did really well being sandwiched between those movies. So.
There's a hell of a spring.
It did well. Yeah, it did well for an unknown character, like a relatively unknown cast. That's not a big box office cast. It did well enough. Yeah, exactly. But then they're probably afraid to release it in 2022 because 2022 is going to be packed with so many movies because they all got pushed into there. So that's probably why it's 2023. And I think they will give it a nicer release date in 2023. So.
Yeah, by the time 23 rolls around, Zach's going to have more gray, and they're going to have to replace him with Asher.
Yeah. Do you guys think?
Or Zach could come in and be a team player and add Shazam to the Justice League.
No.
If Zach comes back to make Justice League, if he comes back to make Justice League, he might have to like play ball with the new Warner Brothers executives or Discovery and incorporate some of the big movies like Black Adam and Shazam and maybe Batgirl into this newer Justice League. That's not to say like he's compromising. He can make a badass story with a Justice League nightmare sequence. Shazam is introduced in some capacity in the story or Batgirl. Like that would make it badass anyway. It's just if Zach was to come back, I don't know if he would get that full thing that he wanted. I think maybe they'd ask him, or he'd have to play a few other characters, which would be cool as well. It wouldn't be a bad thing.
Do you think Shazam?
I mean,
sorry.
I was gonna say I'll say this.
Go on.
Zach Levi was at the Justice League premiere back in 2017, so I would not be surprised if he had some conversations with Deb about it, because Deb was at the premiere of Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna leave it like that.
Well, it could have been. I bet you, if that movie did well, and Warner Brothers were proud of it, and Josh Whedon was a hero, then Justice League 2 would probably be out by now, and Shazam would be in it. But it just shows you how things changed so much. And then like Jared Leto was gone from the role. He was the standout in Zack Snyder's Justice League. He'd have to be brought back for more projects in the future if Zack was coming back, and I bet you Zack would want him as well. So it just shows you that things change so much. And like we'll talk about it later with Ben Affleck and Keaton, but like July 2020, Keaton was confirmed to come back, and people said he's going to be the Nick Fury of the DCEU, and he might be. Then a few months later, Ben Affleck signed on to come back for Zack Snyder's Justice League and The Flash, which nobody predicted. That changes things the whole time. So like things are always evolving, things are always changing. So not in stone.
No.
Yeah. By the way, before we go into the next panel, Zach tweeted about the Batman trailer, and he tagged Matt Reeves and
said, Zach is canceled.
Yeah, how dare he?
What does
sabotage?
How dare Zach support another creative? God damn it.
Zack Snyder, more like Snake Snyder. Hi, Fatma.
Hey, Fatma.
Hi.
Hey, Fatma.
Hi, guys. How are you? Hi, Alex. Hi.
Hey,
Hi,
Fatma.
Sean. Hi, Max. Hi, Rokan.
Hey.
Hi. How are you guys? Sorry.
We are good.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Not bad.
Good.
I'm good. How have you found the day so far? Well, it's finished now, but like, how's everyone finding everything?
I had fun with it.
Pretty good.
That's good.
Hey,
That's good. I mean,
quick question about.
Highlight,
sorry, go ahead. Please go ahead.
The highlight is actually, my man, the Batman. He steals the show every time. I'm just so sorry to every single superhero out there. He's just the best. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and speaking of Batman, we'll talk about the Flash, the Flash teaser. Okay, so firstly, I did not expect them to show that much in the teaser, but I did expect a teaser to be shown. But I also expected a behind-the-scenes concept art sneak peek type thing that was kind of leaked a few months ago. So maybe because that was leaked, they changed it up and they decided to release a teaser.
No, it wasn't because of the leak. Because if you looked at that footage for behind the scenes, that was filmed right at the start of production. So they filmed that just in case if there was a COVID delay. So that's why it
Yeah.
was only concept art. Everyone looked up early on to the production. But since they actually have footage, they decided to change it up. So I knew for a fact once that leaked, they weren't going to use it. So that's why it leaked.
They didn't even use the footage of them
They didn't use
talking
anything.
about it. Like
Nothing.
the stuff about
none of it.
multiverse, the stuff about Andy talking about, how Flash has these two idiots and those other characters and stuff. He didn't mention any of it, and that was kind of
Oh man, he just froze.
He's he's rebooting.
Bye bye.
He's rebooting.
Warner Bros.
Damn.
got him. He was talking about late footage.
I'm the captain now. I don't know what case you from. I think he was going to
so. Yeah, that was kind of surprising. And I did like
away with
the
the
teaser a
concept art we
lot.
were talking about already.
Everyone looks amazing. The costumes look amazing. The only thing that I didn't like is the cow.
Yeah.
That is
Thank you
one
for
thing
pointing
that looks very. It doesn't look like it fits his face.
Did you guys
so-
expect Barry, the second Barry, to be in the first teaser? Like I thought they would keep him for like a movie.
I did not expect that.
Yeah,
I also did not expect Sasha Kai's Supergirl to be in it.
I expected a snippet or a reveal, so as much as he was shown.
I
The
think
second
that
Barry thing was a bit of a surprise.
Mhm.
I think that the tease was okay for me, at least for me. It was okay, but I don't know how I feel about them showing Sasha Kala's Supergirl in the background slightly
Right.
blurred, and Michael Keaton's only behind, and then that shot of the cow that looked so bad. I hope it looks better in the movie, because that
Flash
shot
one?
was the Flash
Yeah,
one. It
right.
was really, at least for me, the CW cow looks better in
No,
many.
I wouldn't
many
go
ways.
that far.
I like
Max,
the
I agree with you.
lightning flowing
Right,
through the
the
suit
cow
thing.
reminded me a little bit of
Flash.
season 4 of the CW Flash when
Yeah.
that cow
Yeah. Yeah.
But again, I kind of feel as though this is early. But again, I've gotten
Oh yeah,
disappointed.
I'm sure
whenever,
it'll look
I
better.
always get disappointed whenever it says it's early. They can fix it, so I'm hoping they'll fix it, or I'm just hoping those were just horrible shots that they picked for the trailer, and maybe the final shot, it's gonna look a lot better.
Because the suit looks awesome. The effects,
suit's great.
I really, really love them. But then the cowl is like a
Yeah,
completely different cowl from a different suit.
yeah,
Mhm.
I agree.
We had an organized schedule here of what to talk about each point, and then Max comes in and takes the VIP topic and says, "Let's talk about the Batman."
Yeah.
Thanks, Max.
But I think one of the funniest things in the trailer that I found was there's one shot of Keaton's cowl and his suit on the ground with blood dripping out of it, right? And someone posted the reveal image that Andy did on Instagram. That suit also had blood on it.
I
So
hope they kill the Keaton Batman.
So something may have happened.
that was
Something
very
may have
funny
please,
because a
kill
lot
him
of
10,000
people,
different ways. I
a
don't
lot
want
of
the character to be
people,
used again.
yeah, a lot of people were hoping or expecting Affleck's Batman to die off at the end, and the first teaser comes out and Keaton's Batman is dead. That was
No. Don't kill Keaton.
oh man, that was
Please no.
Imagine if the whole movie is like Keaton's suit, but with Ben Affleck in it, and Keaton's Batman dies at the start.
I
Just
doubt
to-
inside that.
Bait and switch. A bait and
Rip
switch.
through.
I would love that.
It was funny because for months they've been saying they're not going to kill off. They're not going to kill off Batfleck. They're not going to kill off Batfleck. They're not going to kill off Batfleck. Then I watched the trailer without rewatching the trailer or freezing that shot. I seen the bat suit and I was like, oh, they've done it. They've killed Batfleck. And I go on Instagram and I post, well, they've done it. They've killed them off. And then I have all these people in my comments saying, man, stop jumping to conclusions. Calm down a bit. It's Keaton's suit. And then I felt like for months I've been telling everybody it's not going to be Affleck, and now it looks like I was.
Yeah, but
getting
no,
scared
it
of
could
it.
see how
like,
these rumors are
Keaton,
so influencing.
Yeah.
I could
Everybody
see that
thinks
scene
they know
as
the
Michael
movie.
Keaton coming back.
Do you think they should
What?
have like given us a snippet of like Batfleck's voice at least, like one line, him saying one line? That would have been like great for the
Yeah.
teaser. Like it was an
Next
okay
trailer.
teaser. Yeah, so we know that there are multiple Batman that exist. So like we as in the general audience know just one line in Batfleck's voice would have been great.
Yeah,
Well,
kind of
didn't
feel
Ben
I think that
next
was
trailer?
WB. I kind of feel that was
Well-
maybe WB's call because if you have
Yeah.
now 3 Batmans during the fandom because they're trying to
Okay,
push
yeah. Yeah,
the
yeah,
Batman,
Yeah.
there'll be more
Yeah.
talk on Affleck's Batman than really Pattinson. Because
Yeah.
right now it's
Yeah,
that's
that's why I
true.
have a
Keaton
theory.
and then Pattinson. But if you
Well,
add
didn't-
Affleck, it's
Yeah.
it's gonna be a little too imbalanced.
Yeah.
Well, didn't Ben
So
come
that's why
in
they have
like
that
on the
announcement.
Well, didn't Ben come in on the final weeks of filming? And they
He did.
shot. They clearly edited and shot this while they were still filming. So I think maybe they just haven't. They didn't shoot him at the time. They edited all this together.
That could be it too as well.
A voiceover could have been possible, I feel, but maybe the dubbing
It's
is still yet
possible,
to be done.
but-
Who knows? Yeah. Who
They'll
knows?
save Batfleck
I
for
think
the
on
final
on a
trailer.
marketing standpoint, they want to keep him out just for this fandom because they want again to focus on Batman's man Pattinson.
Yeah,
What are your
they'll
words?
save Affleck
Fair
to
enough.
the final trailer. Absolutely, they'll use him as a way to draw in that last section of fans that haven't totally bought into the movie yet, and they'll go, "Oh shit! Well, here's Affleck. Now we're gonna go watch it." It'll be a
Mhm.
strategic thing. Absolutely.
Not
Fair
even the
enough.
final trailer.
That's
It'll be in
why,
the post trailer. You'll have Affleck coming in because this is just not even considered like a teaser. Like this is like a first look.
Yeah.
So either at the teaser or the
I
post
think-
trailer, you'll have Affleck because
I've never
he
seen
is going to be
someone.
apparently integral in the film, either
Yeah.
in the first act and possibly the third act.
Yeah,
What
I've
do
never
you
seen
think about,
someone put in production in the teaser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Yeah, that was
I've
weird.
seen it before.
And like,
This-
didn't
The
it?
spray
I
paint
like
thing,
it.
like what
I thought
was that?
they
about?
finished production.
No, they didn't. They're now in post production.
Oh yeah,
So
they're
it's
yeah.
still in
Yeah.
production.
Yes, right.
They're done with post. They're done with shooting.
Principal
So now they're
photography.
in post, and they're gonna start doing pickup shots in a few months.
Yeah, but like that, in production is a weird. It's weird. It's
in production, it's like we're still working on the film. Like
Yeah.
we're done shooting it now. It's in post. We're gonna bring in the cameras again, and we have to do pickups.
but like all the movies shown here were in production, because even the Batman is being finished in post right now.
But I think it's like that's like an Andy thing. That like you want to
Yeah.
have like something a little fun.
It's also the most recent one that's wrapped up. So like Black Adam has had a few months of work done on it already, so that they feel a bit more confident with whatever they do have. And the Batman has finished filming for a long while now.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I
They
think
should
that's
just release the
why.
Batman next week.
No, I want it next year.
Yes, I want it. I want it now.
I
Yes.
definitely do want.
I've waited too long.
No, I want it 2022 now.
I want it now.
No,
Yes.
no. I think it needs to breathe because like there's like
Matt Reeves is backstage and he's deciding.
like Matt's listening to us right now and he's just gonna change it depending on like what decision we make. But I think it's good that it's coming out next year and it gives it some breathing room. Not that it wasn't going to do well anyway, but you've got Far From Home coming out in December, and like a few other things the hype around that film is crazy.
Do you know Batman is releasing within 1 week of Doctor Strange?
No,
Yes.
I still think it's going to do well.
Oh no,
Yeah, that's not fair.
He's gonna eat up Doctor Strange.
Yet.
There'll be no competition there.
None.
None.
Okay.
No.
About the
To
fact
the point where like there'll be people buying tickets for both Batman
Grossly
and Doctor Strange to watch
underestimating
it the
that
same day.
movie.
You guys, yeah, I think
I'll be
there's a lot riding on that one as well. That Marvel are
one?
really doing.
McGuire's in it.
Strange.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, Doctor Strange. That I feel that will be their gem that they have. But like, I'm just worried with Spider-Man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm just very worried on the final product from what I've been seeing.
Fair,
And I'll just end it with that.
fair.
All
What do you
right.
guys think
So-
about the I think it was the second Barry who was spray painting the whole Flash sign, and his suit is spray painted.
Oh yeah, he's wearing the bat suit, spray
Yeah,
painted for
and
the Flash.
you saw him like do that like so. Do you think it's something like he takes inspiration from the Barry that we know, the Ezra Flash, and then he's like, oh, I have to make a suit like this, something like that? Like,
Possibly, or he could be a Flash that when he went back in time at the same time as our Barry, he didn't have the suit with him,
okay.
so he needed a suit.
Oh,
Possibly.
I thought
My
it was
theory
very
for a while was that he is Reverse Flash, and he
yeah.
went to the
Like
Keaton
I'm
Batcave
onto the
and
thing.
killed him.
I mean, we
I
need it
feel
was me
that
Barry scene, right?
this is
He
gonna
I
be
think
killed
we all
him. He
agree
took
on
his
this.
suit.
No,
I
I
think we
don't
all
think this is
agree.
gonna be fun. I think this is gonna be another version of Barry. So it's
So there
more
are three
on
ones.
our Barry learning more about himself and what the darkness can happen to him if he goes another route. Because
But I
that
think
Barry might be the big bad for the film.
Yeah.
I think we all agree that we need a "It was me Barry" scene, right? I mean, they have
The
to
what?
make that meme. It was me Barry, as you know the meme, right? The reverse Flash.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
hope for the rest
From
of the
Flashpoint.
marketing for the Flash that they focus on the Flash. I'm
Yeah.
very I just really want more Flash content. If you're going to
Yeah.
market this film for me, I am getting the Batman in March. I'm happy with that. And as much as like I'm a huge Batman fan and we get everything, and we've got like so much Batman content, I don't want them to continue seeing market Supergirl or Batman. I want the Flash and the Flash's villains to be the center stage of it all. And I just feel like I don't know if they're doing this on purpose to distract away from like people theorizing who the villain is and like all of that stuff. So everyone's
I think that is
smaller
the reason.
characters. And I think the smaller characters in this film should definitely be Batman and Supergirl. And that's their way of like distracting everyone. But regardless, I just want to feel like it's a Flash film rather than
Yeah.
No,
Batman
Fatman, Fatman, I'm in agreement with you. I feel it might be strategic on them because they want to hide a lot on what surprises that they have for the Flash, especially with his father, Nora, everything that's going on. But then also, it's more on us, the fans, because once you throw in Batman or even a Supergirl, you kind of going to want to lean in towards more of that than the Flash itself. So it's happened. It's not even with the fans, but also you have a lot of websites, the pundits. They know that they're going to get the clicks if they're going to focus on the Batman. Always. So you want to find fault within them. But then also it's to Andy's benefit that he can hide a lot on the surprises for the Flash, because in the end this is a Flash film. But yes, set with two Batmans, a Supergirl, and maybe a couple other characters. But end of the day, this is his story, and we just have to watch and learn.
Mm-hmm. And I do think that it definitely is a Flash movie because the trailer even starts with the other Barry
exactly
tempting our Barry about the multiverse and the timelines, and you can go back to your mom, you can revive her and all that stuff, right? So
it was a very Flash centric trailer.
Exactly. Yeah, I do think it's very much from his perspective. Of course, we'll have Supergirl and Keaton Batman as the teammates, and I was kind of surprised to learn that this other Barry will also be a teammate. Seems like, but yeah, these three are, Flash is the main character, and Keaton and Supergirl are the supporting characters, and Affleck is just a cameo role, so we won't see much of him.
What if Keaton is secretly Reverse Flash?
What?
I did think of that.
Flash. Like,
I did think of that.
See, we don't know who the big bad in this movie is.
This
right?
would
I know I'm just.
This would be
throwing shit at
like
the wall,
No
but-
Way
but that-
Homecoming, though.
It was me, Barry. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
No, but
I hope he says that line.
Nice fucking model, Flash! Honk honk!
we don't really know.
Or at least
who
like
the
I
villain
would love
the
for Barry
movie
to
is, right?
say, "Where do you get all these wonderful toys, Bruce?"
Yeah.
At some point, Bruce has to say, It's showtime.
I did like the Batcave a lot, and
Yeah.
the color,
Yeah.
the way
Yeah.
it looked so gothic, and even from outside when they were visiting the Wayne Manor, it looked so amazing. They built the whole thing, so it does look amazing.
I like the
Yeah,
entrance going
the only
through the
flaw,
Batcave.
the only thing that issue I have with
Sorry, please go on.
sir. Okay, thank you. Yeah. So the only issue I have with that Batcave is the fact that it's supposed to look like Burton's Batcave. Like I don't remember like Burton's Batcave having like a waterfall.
Yeah,
You know what
it
I mean?
reminds me a lot of
You
the
have to
Nolan's
remember with
Batcave.
well, you have to remember with a Burton
Yeah.
from Batman '89 and
I
Returns,
mean-
you had two different Wayne Manors, and even the Batcaves were a little different between both movies.
That's true.
So who's to
That's
say?
true.
And it's a
this
different
isn't, like,
timeline.
the
I
same?
remember a waterfall.
Realis-
What was the waterfall? Maybe in Kilmer's Batcave.
Yeah.
So I remember a
It was in,
waterfall.
Yeah.
if I
And
remember
it's a different
correctly, it was in
timeline.
Clooney's
Yeah.
Batcave as well had a waterfall, if I remember correctly. I haven't seen that horrible monstrosity of a movie for a long time, but if I remember correctly.
Brutal.
No, I wonder if they're gonna bring back or do like an homage for Michael Go's Alfred for this film at that Wayne
I
Manor.
hope so. Yeah.
It will be nice, just like portrait or like a bust of him or something, because he got it.
Yeah, totally.
So hey, I've got a question actually about Flash. So my
Mhm.
concern about Flash is with Andy Muschietti. So to me, he's already proven to me that he has a hard time with meshing two stories together. So when you look at it, the first movie, It, with all the kids, was very well done. I thought. I don't think you could have done any better.
Mhm.
And everybody's downfall about It Part 2 was he kind of lost his stride when he brought in the adults. And he wasn't able to meld those two together very well. So now you've just got same story, two different timelines, the kids and the adults, and he couldn't put them together. But now you're talking about him with a main timeline and then him bringing in all these multiverse angles. Is he going to be able to meld these into one cohesive story? Or are they going to get so caught up in all these cameos and bringing all these people in that he loses track of what he's really trying to do? Did that come across clearly?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I-
but to the
I actually thought
Yep.
it chapter 2 was really good. I thought he bridged them together really well, and I saw
Me
the
too.
connection between both of them.
Mhm.
I think both the first and the second film for it
Re-
were very well made.
Release the
In
It
my
for
opinion.
But also too, and Muschietti's with Muschietti and It Part 2, the same thing can be said with the original It miniseries that came out in the early '90s. Because the first part everyone loved, but then once he got into with the adults, it was the same situation. And even with the It book, if you read it, like once he got to the adults, it was kind of like the weakest part of the story. So really, it's the story itself
Okay.
hinders
I
it.
had only
But I get you when it comes to It Part 2. It was the weakest of the two. It was still well made. I loved it, but there was a little imbalance within it.
Okay.
So
I had only one issue. I agree with Brian here. With it part 2, there was some tonal differences. In all, I agree with Fatma that it was a good movie. I enjoyed it because, as Alex said, the story itself goes like that. So it's not like he invented it out of anywhere. The book itself is like that. But one or two scenes, for example, I really remember the scene. There, I think I don't remember who, but they're trapped and they're going somewhere, and then the clown shows up and he vomits some black stuff on that guy, and suddenly some pop song from the 80s, "You're My Darling Angel," starts playing. I was like, where the
Mhm.
fuck is that coming from?
It didn't
Suddenly,
fit. It didn't
not
fit.
at all. It literally felt like they forgot that they put in temp music and substituted with something else like that I really remember. Otherwise, the opening scene with balloons and then the adults coming to terms with like they're still having those nightmares or getting those nightmares again and all that was pretty good. This one or two scenes, that scene, that pop song scene, I really remember. Like suddenly in the middle of a horror scene, you're like, it felt like that Marvel, puncturing the tension with the stupid, shitty jokes kind of thing. So yeah, it felt like that, and there's one or two scenes like that. Otherwise, it too for me was good, not as good as the first. But again, the story flows like that. If you've seen the miniseries, it has the same problems. So
A lot of people have issues with the pacing in the second part more than the characters.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the director's cut though, so I don't know how that one flows. But the one I saw in the theater, I thought it was fine. I liked it. I agree with Fatma. I think both movies are pretty good. I did like the first one more, but I think that's because it kind of becomes this pedestal movie. You love it so much that you find it hard to like the sequels more than the first one. I think some of that is also present in that. But yeah, I do think that both movies were good. But also for the Flash, I think that he has a lot of good material that he can use from the comics to the script. He doesn't need to have some, not saying that he's not having any original ideas, but he doesn't have to work as hard on original ideas because the material is already there in the comics as well as the script.
I'd just like to intervene here. The problem with it too, coming with what Alex said, is a Stephen King issue. I don't know how many of you are Stephen King fans, but I believe, yeah, I love Stephen King, but I still believe he has a problem with ending books. He has a big issue with like when there is a twist to be revealed. You could take any of his. I can't remember the one with the where the trucks and machines come alive. I can't remember what it was. A horrible movie, a good book, but a horrible movie. Anyways, he has like many books. I don't think Stephen King, except for a few books, knows really how to end stuff. So the adults coming together and chanting something to send him off or whatever is kind of corny, we know, but that's a Stephen King issue. It's not an Andy Muschietti issue. Number one. And coming to what Najeed said right now, see, I think it's the reverse. He had the entire story, set out for him in it 1 and 2. In here, he actually has he can take inspiration, or Christina Hodson takes inspiration from Flashpoint, but he can go any direction. Like he could very well put up a New Justice League, put it to Black Adam, anywhere. He could go. He has more freedom here. So I think that works in his favor. I don't know how many of you have seen his first movie, the one before it. What was that
Mama.
horror movie? Mama.
Mama,
yeah.
I
I've
haven't
seen
watched it. I think it's
It
good.
was
I've heard it's a really good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Joss Whedon wrote it.
Okay. I definitely didn't know.
That was a random toss.
Yeah.
He is the fact.
DC
Random
FanDome was
trick
missing
toss.
that name.
We can't go 5 minutes, can we?
Yeah.
Well, guys, I have to.
Talking about DC FanDome, have you spoken about the Shazam and Aquaman trailers
We
already?
spoke about Shazam. We
You already did
didn't.
Shazam, though.
Not Aquaman, but we did talk about Shazam.
I'm really looking forward to Shazam, Black Adam. Oh my god, that look! I didn't think they'd actually release an actual clip for Black Adam. I thought it would just
That's
be
the
like
opening
behind
scene,
the
too.
scenes thing.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I have to step out. Looking at the baby monitor, I'm being summoned.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
Thanks for
they're
joining,
calling.
man.
Hi.
Bye.
See you on
Bye.
Twitter.
I just want to bring up Brian, because you mentioned like your concern with Andy and the script. I just want to say Christina Hodson's doing the script of the movie, and she did an awesome job on Bumblebee. And you guys know I'm a Birds of Prey defender, so I'm gonna gravitate towards that. But I think with what she's talked about how basically she wants to tell like an emotional story about how Barry has the power to kind of like save his mom, and how it just creates kind of like a chaos, I guess. That leaves me kind of like more optimistic to think, okay, he can direct an emotional script from Christina. I hope at least.
And joking aside, I think what Umbrish was saying about it was me, Barry, and I think that meme aside, I think that line is one of the best line deliveries from any DC animated movies. Reverse Flash, that scene, it was pretty amazing. The stuff he basically crushes Barry mentally, and I think
Flashpoint
that
is
scene could
probably the best DC animated movie.
Yeah.
Probably the best.
So I do think that scene could happen, in this movie as well, because there's
telling
two Ezras. So
See, we still don't know who the main baddie in this movie is. We are all expecting it to be the second Barry. That seems obvious, but with such a DC is known for the rogues gallery, right?
Right.
And Flash has a very good rogues gallery. I think next to Batman, he has the best rogues gallery in my opinion. Other than maybe Hawk.
That's arguable. Yeah.
Other than Batman, I think he has a very rich rogues gallery, and I think they're keeping something back. I hope they're holding something back. Reverse Flash has got to be you can't have Flashpoint without Reverse Flash, and you have to, if you have to jump off to a future Flash movie, you have to bring in Reverse Flash for the general audiences to know that those kind of character exists. So,
and there are two more characters
Flash
in
is
this
coming
movie.
into this movie at some point.
I think so too. Yeah.
Either it's going to be second Barry. One of them is going to turn out.
I think it's the second Barry because he's literally wearing a yellow jacket when he's.
Exactly.
If we want to talk about Flash for a second, I think it's really. I was examining it just like after it came out, and it's really interesting. If you pay attention to what both Barrys are wearing, and specifically the ring, it becomes really interesting because at the end shot, you see the Barry with the short hair wearing the ring suit. But if you look at longer haired Barry's like finger, and if you see him like in different parts, you actually see him have the ring. So it becomes really interesting to see like why does he have the ring after we see the team up and short haired Barry has the ring. And which ones are Barry?
By the way, did anyone notice like the long hair Barry, is he we from the set pics and compare the set pics to what we saw in the footage, is it like have they done some VFX? Is it the same actor or is it Ezra? I didn't notice.
It is
a different actor. Yeah.
It's a different actor, right?
Yeah.
Definitely we're getting the Reverse Flash.
Yeah. It's a different actor.
No, it's a stand-in. Yeah.
No, but in
they
the
put
footage,
Ezra's
no. In the I see set pics there was a stand-in. Agreed.
Yeah.
I'm saying
in the footage it was Ezra. Yeah.
Have they morphed it to Ezra?
Yeah.
They've changed it to Ezra's face.
Okay, but
so
they may have modified it. They cast somebody that looks a lot like him so they can modify it and get it even closer to him.
Yeah. That's a standard practice, yes, but I
think that Reverse Flash is supposed to be the future version of Flash, right? From the far future.
No, not necessarily. He's a descendant of someone who Barry knows. He's not necessarily a.
He's the fastest man alive in the future, I think.
Yeah, but he's not a descendant of Barry Allen.
Yeah.
He's a descendant of someone else. I can't remember the guy's name.
Right.
It depends on the storyline you're reading, just like everything else.
Yeah.
More or less, he's not. It is definitely not Barry. You have future Barrys who have been villains in the comics, but Reverse Flash is not like the major 2-3 storyline. He's not Barry related to Barry Allen.
Yeah, so I think it's possible that this version of Barry Allen, even if that's his name, we don't know that yet. But maybe he came from the future and he is Eobard Thawne, and He could be Reverse Flash. He could be pretending to be Barry Allen.
Like, I'm still on board for the Keaton as Reverse Flash. You see his cowl with the blood and all. He's faking his death, and it turns out that
Yeah.
he's like. Hey, Keaton plays a great villain. We all know that. Like,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
would be a bomb casting, like to have him like be. Like,
But I don't know if that he would go well with
it
Ezra's
won't.
Flash.
No, it would go. It would go superbly well with Ezra Flash. It wouldn't go well with the audience. That's
Yeah. I think there would be a lot more pissed off people.
Yeah.
If it was me, I would totally do like that kind of like story. But it's not
Speaking of,
So I've
speaking
got, go ahead, please, and then I got a question once you're done.
Okay. Speaking of Keaton's Batman, what did you guys think of that one shot in the trailer or the sneak peek of his cowl on the ground and his suit, and there's a pool of blood right next to the cowl? What
I
do you guys
loved
think?
it.
I mean, something about that is just a little odd to me. I mean, like, you can definitely tell it's not the Batcave, it's the Wayne Manor because there's light shining through. So it's just like it's just great seeing, like, that this Bruce doesn't care. He just wants to rip off the suit, like, in the Wayne Manor. Like, he doesn't care anymore.
I think it's
Keaton is
a
gone.
vision. I hope he's gone, but that I know that's not going to happen. But I think it's just a vision from one of the multiverses that he has, in which maybe he screws up something, and he sees that the Batman who was helping him then is also dead.
Yeah.
Fatma, what do you think? You're the Batman fan here. What do you think?
Batman in the Flash?
No, yeah, the cowl with the blood on the floor.
There's like suit all damaged. Yeah.
I think it's cool. I'm just like, this film is really interesting, and like I'm trying to keep. I don't know. I don't want to be disappointed from now, and I also don't want to be extremely excited. So I'm just keeping like a level head.
Yeah.
I'm just like waiting for an actual trailer close to the time and seeing if they balance out the Flash and like all the other elements, like I said before. And I know that this trailer was very Flash centric, and they tried to keep it that way, but it's still been so other character centric, and I've said this point before, but I'm excited, and I'm looking forward to seeing the merging of Keaton's Batman and Batfleck as well. Like, I think it'll be a really great way to see him one final time, considering the current situation. But I'm just slowly, like, seeing what they've released and trying to take it in bit by bit, and hopefully we'll have a really great film. And I don't want it to tank. I don't want it to do badly. I want it to do well, because I mean, considering the actors who have put a lot of hard work into the film, they deserve to have something that shows up well, but I don't know, we'll see how it goes, and we'll see how everything fits together in due time.
Yeah, I think
my
we
question
should
was-
be cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
Oh, we
That's
have
the
to
right
be
way to
with
be.
DC's track record. We have to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So my question was, is this really going to lead to a new Justice League movie, or are people just really hoping for that? Because I don't know if it's necessarily going to lead to a new Justice League movie.
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I think I said this in a Twitter space which Maher and Najeed were organizing, and I will say it here again. Do not give WB too much credit. I don't think they have enough organization and the brains to actually carry out a full reboot. Okay, don't give them that. We've been hearing about a full reboot. The Suicide Squad is a reboot of. Fuckers, you had Amanda Waller and everyone from the first movie, almost everyone from the first movie there. Like, Shazam is its own thing. Which references BVS half of the time. You have the Man of Steel almost showing up in the end. Birds of Prey is its own thing. You had a Jared Leto Joker standing. They are not going anywhere. They know they have established this. The Batman is a different thing because Matt Reeves is creating his own universe. The rest of the movies, 1984 also references the first one, and so it's not going anywhere. And let us not give them enough credit. They don't have the brains or the balls to carry out a full reboot, especially with Ezra around.
Exactly.
With Aquaman 2 still in development, you have Shazam. not going anywhere with the full reboot. They're not creating a new Justice League.
And
and the
Scoot is here in the chat, and he says that Flash is in Affleck's last movie, and I completely agree. I don't think
Absolutely.
Affleck is just back for the Flash movie and ZSJL. I think he definitely will be in
Batgirl?
Batgirl,
Yeah.
and maybe that will open up more opportunity for him to be, signing up for the series or the movie that he wants, and hopefully that happens. But I think the likelihood of that happening, the chances are higher than they've ever been before. And
Yeah.
a lot of people are assuming and maybe listening to old information or old news, old rumors that were being spread out when Keaton was announced that he's going to be the Nick Fury. They are going to replace Affleck. Firstly, it doesn't make sense. Secondly, that was never um, coming from official sources. So I don't know why people are now believing all that when they never believed such information about the Snyder Cut or Zack Snyder or anything like that. But now they are suddenly magically believing every new rumor that's coming out from this movie. So I don't know why, but
They were believing
logically
everything
Affleck
about the
will not
Snyder
die in
Cut.
this. Yeah.
Remember the Snyder Cut was
Yeah.
coming out like the very next day the Justice League was out. Okay, so we have been hearing rumors about it a lot. So let's not get into
The
that.
DCU has been rebooting since 2016. So
Yeah, absolutely.
let's not.
Since Man of Steel, if you can I think it's been rebooting since Man of Steel. So let's-
Just want to say, kids, don't assume it makes an ass out of you and me.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and so moving on to Aquaman, I was really, really surprised with this thing that I showed. The music was very, very good. It was so energetic, and they showed the stealth suit, and I love that.
They did. They did. I did not
Mhm.
think that they'd show the stealth suit so early on. That was like the one. What I'm a huge Aquaman fan. I love the first film, and I hate how people hate on the first film. I think it was a great film. Half, maybe 3 scenes that were a bit like, cringe.
Yeah.
But outside of those 3 scenes, that film is amazing, and I can't wait for this one, especially with that stealth suit and like seeing Arthur find himself in this new kingdom, and like everything around it is just so exciting. And didn't James I think James Wan even said at one point that it's going to be a bit more mature in the way that they approach it, so that might be like a great way of like maturing the film, and the points that people didn't enjoy in the first one that they can enjoy in the second one. And I'm just really, really excited for that, and I can't wait to see how much they improve on the VFX that they did in the first film. The first film was stunning VFX wise, and until this day it boggles my mind as to why it didn't win any awards for that, but I'm hoping for the second one. I'm so excited for Aquaman. I love that world, and I love Jason Momoa's portrayal, and it's really, really exciting, especially that stealth suit. That is beautiful.
Yeah,
anything
absolutely.
in black is beautiful, but like
and also James Wan said that they are exploring more parts of the world and new territories, and also he said that they are trying something new from the first movie. And of course he also said that it's going to be more mature. So I love everything he said. I think James Wan is one of the best directors. Almost all his movies are amazing. They really make a big impact on the audiences, and I think the second one looks even bigger in scale than the first one, which I thought was impossible either. But
I think like the billion
it's
dollar
amazing.
but the $1 billion box office for the first one has given them even more like resources, and I'm just so excited. And he just embodies that role so well, and everything around it is just beautiful. Yeah, I'm an Aquaman fan.
I also
I'm surrounded by Batman.
I also think there's going to be a cameo from another Justice League member in that movie. Maybe it will be Flash, because they were shooting very close to each other. But if it were me, I would put Wonder Woman in it because they have history together. Atlanteans and Amazons. But I would
But
love for them to be in it.
We've also
does that exist in that though? In that continuity?
Sorry, what?
Does that history between the Atlanteans and the Amazonians
Yes.
exist in the continuity that they're going through at the
Yes.
moment?
Yes.
Yes.
I would say so.
Yes.
Because
Well-
James Wan obviously he made this movie about the Lost Kingdom, and that was in the storyboards. And he talked to Zach about what
Yeah.
his plans
Mhm.
were.
See, even
during
if
the
you
first-
consider the Justice League as canon, even if you do, they still had the Amazonian and Atlantean War reference in that. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So right. So
Yeah,
they did
in the
have
history
he
lesson.
says something like, "I know your people and mine have had some problems, some shitty video dialogue there, but that reference is still there. So that is still canon. So the Amazonian Atlantean War, whether you go with the Zack Snyder's Justice League or Justice
Yeah.
League,
It was in the history lesson, so they cannot change that anyway.
No. The Amazonian Atlantean War was not in any of the history lessons. That is a dialogue that they speak.
Right.
Aquaman and Wonder Woman speak in whichever story you consider. But
Right.
the reference is still there, so they could very well have it.
Well, that's what they were
Since
kind of
we-
alluding to. That's what they were kind of alluding to, right when they were standing outside the van in Zack Snyder's Justice
Yeah,
League.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the scene, and it's there in the battleship in Justice League when they're flying to Russia.
Oh
whatever.
yeah, that's true.
Since
That's
me
true.
and James Wan are like very good friends, as Najeed well knows, because he answered my question in the last fandom using my name. That's how I know James Wan. So
Inside track.
no, yeah, so that's why I have been hyped for Aquaman 2 since last fandom. So
You also
since
started
nobody-
loving the
none-
first movie even more.
yeah. No, I except for that piss scene, I actually made an edit. I learned editing just to do that because it pissed me off so much. I cut out that scene wherein the guy goes and dunks his head in the toilet. Like, that was stupid, and the armpit smelling. Except for these two scenes, I even like the Ocean to Ocean. I think Ocean to Ocean, Pitbull's Ocean to Ocean should be Aquaman's theme from now on. Like Hans Zimmer, Man of Steel. Okay.
Okay.
So you should have like, Pitbull Ocean to Ocean should be like Aquaman's official theme. I don't mind any of the other silliness in the movie except for like these two jokes. I agree with Fatma. It was an amazing movie. I don't know why, and it is very much in keeping with Snyder's aesthetic of slow motion and the heart and everything. It's
Especially
totally
the
into the
third act.
Snyderverse. It's absolutely in the Snyderverse. Like I remember somebody made this. I think it was Garza or someone who made it parallel to Man of Steel with the action scenes and with the when like the Aquaman is like flying floating up in the water at the end is the same as Man of Steel when he's going up in the air. So there is a lot of visual parallels between both of the movies, and it's firmly set in the Snyderverse. It's one of my favorite comic book movies of all time. So I loved Aquaman 1. What I hope they will explore in this comic, in this movie, the second one, is I can't remember the name of that comic, but it's kind of after Throne of Atlantis. I can't remember the name. It's where Aquaman is now king, and he has to have deal with actual politics. So he has to have a embassy open up, which gets attacked, and which
Is this new 52? Is this new?
yeah, I think so.
Looking at my comics, trying to see.
Yeah, I can't remember. In fact, I may have it in my notes somewhere. But he opens up an embassy which then gets attacked and all that. So I hope they explore that aspect now that he's king. So just to become king is different to deal with the duties of being a king, especially for a character like Aquaman, who's in his own words a blunt instrument. You can't be a blunt instrument when you're a king. You have to deal very diplomatically. So I do hope they explore
For
that.
that they have
aspect of it.
Mira.
Mera is not diplomatic. She's even worse.
She's a good
She literally-
advisor.
yeah, but she literally creates a tornado in the middle of that fight. Like there is no diplomacy in her. Okay, like
That's because
I think, even
Aquaman was
worse.
big.
Yeah, but she's even worse in the politics aspect. I think
maybe Volko is there, hopefully. So yeah, But my point being, I hope they explore that administrator king aspect. And secondly, if you saw the concept art, I think obviously the title Lost Kingdom refers to that desert kingdom. So there were like weird desert creatures that you saw in the
Yeah.
concept art. Very interesting designs.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very excited. Jason Momoa is of course like hot, like one of the hottest guys. I openly say that guy's hot. I can openly say that guy's hot. Him and Henry Cavill, hot guys. That's it. So like he's good. Amber Heard. People have conflicting emotions over her, but I think she's decent enough for that role what she's doing, and I am excited. As Najeed said, James Wan is kind of like he has this like I could say, for lack of a better word, a golden touch. Any genre he touches, like uh, Jigsaw, the Saw movie, he started with the violent, gory thriller, then the silent horror, and Conjuring, and with Fast and Furious. So he has this knack of bringing something different to an established franchise model. He did that to Aquaman as well. Brought something different to the like aquatic heroes were boring before, and he made them interesting. So I think we're in for a ride. Although the footage didn't give us much, it was good, but didn't give us much. I think again the movies. I mean, I think what 2023, 24, something like that. But anyways, I'm excited for Aquaman too.
Maher, you're
It's
back.
kind of disheartening. Sorry, it's kind of disheartening to see that Aquaman 1 was obviously a success. 2, they're hoping for the same success or better. And if it does get the same success or better, James Wan has given indication that he's not coming back for a third. So that's
Yeah.
really disheartening to hear.
I don't think he's never done like 3 movies in any of his
He
franchises.
said he'd get bored of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he says he's getting bored.
He Conjuring 1, 2, and then left for 3.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
think the
think
same
he
thing
ever
said
done that.
here.
It's his friend, like he was just 1, 2 and leaves, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea though. I mean, leave the third one because usually the third one is a mess.
Yeah.
Very rare exception. So
Don't remind me. Maher, you're back.
I love Dark Knight Rises. Okay, you don't. I love
No, I
it.
was thinking about Star Wars, but
Still okay. I don't know.
Oh,
the Rise of
okay.
Sky. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that is no comment.
No comment.
Maher, is everything okay? Oh, no audio.
Got Garzad.
Everyone's having technical difficulties today.
Should have done like a test run or something.
There you go.
Yeah, we did, and his audio was working then. But anyway, Ishan, what did you think of the Aquaman panel?
So I admittedly am not the biggest fan of the first Aquaman movie. It's fine. I like a lot of aspects
Okay, so
of
you
it.
can
I
shut
really,
up. I'm just kidding.
yeah. but yeah, I really like James Wan as a director, and I think there's a lot of sequences in Aquaman that I really enjoy. A lot of plot beats that I really enjoy. A lot of the action is really good. I love the third act. I think just a lot of the, I mean, I want to say corniness, maybe the more lightheartedness. I felt like for me personally, that was a little bit out of place. Like that wasn't quite my cup of tea. And in Aquaman 2, the stuff that I've seen so far, I am interested. I love the score, so it was great hearing that again. And just seeing them say, I believe they said this today, that it would be more darker, but it would retain the fun of the first movie. I think that is something I would really like them go forward in. And for right now, I mean, I can't really say that I'm super hyped for the movie, but I'm really the panel today really helped me get my, little bit more confidence towards the project. And I think James Wan, since this is going to be his second and potentially last Aquaman movie, it's probably going to be the best one out of the two. So I'm looking forward to it.
Nice. Rogan?
I'm super hyped for this. I'm with Fatma. I love the first Aquaman so much. Such a it's such a fun globe-trotting adventure type of movie, and it's so epic, and it's a blast. I have so much fun with it, even with the the weird Pitbull song. I still enjoy the movie. So going into what we've heard for the second movie, and we've seen all the concept art, and we see like that James said he wants to make it a more serious movie this time around, which I'm like, great, because this time around we can get kind of those James Wan horror isms in an Aquaman movie more so than we did in the first movie, which because a lot of people will say one of the best scenes in Aquaman is the trench scene, and I hope we kind of get something more along those lines in the second movie, considering the fact that we're going to more
I had
worlds.
asked him this question in fandom, one this very specific question, and his answer was that yes.
I heard it, man. Yeah.
Yeah, and his specific answer was that yes, he was gonna like introduce more horror elements. I think those creatures, the desert creatures that we saw in the concept art, I think you should expect some kind of a. The trend scene can't be topped because visually and pacing everything.
But
that
again,
part was amazing.
he has a stealth suit, so there's kind of a covert mission that they are probably going on.
Yeah,
and that might be the horror scene.
Desert in the night horror. I would love that.
I hope so. But yeah, I like what I'm seeing so far of it. It also looks like they are really pushing Black Manta more as the lead bad guy in this one, as opposed to the last movie where he was kind of like he's Ocean Master's hitman. That this time around he's like
he was
in the forefront,
right? Supposedly that was a John Sadden, so he wasn't supposed to have that big a role.
I mean, it does feel like a bit shoehorned, but this time around, like I said, luckily they kept him alive so that for this time around they can actually make him a more credible bad guy.
They changed his helmet a bit, right? Did you notice?
I didn't like that.
Fine. I didn't like it.
I thought the first suit was perfect, and they shouldn't have changed that.
First Black Manta suit was like pure comics, gold.
What did they add? I didn't notice. What did they change?
Minor changes to the.
They made the helmet silver.
Design. Yeah,
the bodysuit is a lot different too. It's more.
I didn't notice the bodysuit, but the helmet I definitely noticed some like, minor differences. I didn't like it.
Yeah,
Are you back?
I don't mind. I don't mind the change, but I do prefer the first suit even more. But yeah, I can't wait to see this. Also, I just want to say it's so cool to see Orm and Aquaman fight side by side and running through buildings together. And I hope that this really is going to be like Ocean Master's redemption story in a lot of ways. You know what I mean?
James Wan has a very good way of showing Patrick in his movies. He is always the lovable, charming guy, and I'm sure he'll come around.
I mean, it makes sense to me why he would present Patrick that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anywho, I really enjoyed joining you guys. I just want to leave on the note of the Batman and how absolutely perfect this film is going to be. Every single thing I've seen, whether it's a poster, a still, a trailer, anything has just been perfect, and I don't think we're ready. I don't think anyone is ready to see this film in its glory. But yeah, it was really nice talking to you all. I hope you all enjoyed.
Thank you for joining.
Yes, thank you so much for inviting me along. It was really nice talking to you all. But yeah, see you guys.
Bye.
Yeah.
Good night. Bye.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, finally.
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
Yes, we can, Sean.
Okay.
Can we finally get to the Batman?
You can
echo.
you can speak for 2 minutes.
Is there a echo when you hear me?
No.
No, you're okay. You're okay now, man.
What were we talking about? Batman or
Batman?
So who's
Go.
gonna freak
Oh,
out
yeah.
first?
So,
I'm just like,
Let Maher do it.
oh yeah, like, we
trailer
already know
was
his idea.
He's excited.
He likes he likes Peacemaker. Okay, so I'm not taking his opinion seriously.
I did like Peacemaker. It's the most
Of course, you like
stupidest
Peacemaker.
trailer ever, but it's different from all the rest. That's why I like it.
I'd rather watch Stargirl. I think Stargirl was
Oh
much
yes,
more interesting than Peace.
yeah.
I can't
Stargirl's
even say
is
I
easy
keep
with the
saying
teenagers,
Peacekeeper
but
for some reason.
the villains are pretty good in Stargirl. But the Batman trailer, I'm getting a lot of Blade Runner vibes, especially the opening shot. The shot of him. There's another shot that's very Blade Runner-esque as well. Even the
Uh,
sun and the background
yeah,
setting.
exactly. But it's more 2049 than the first one.
Yeah,
The sun
yeah,
and the yellow light. Yeah, I got the
yeah,
same thing.
yeah. So I think it's a mixture of that. It's probably it reminds me of Seven, of course, the David Fincher movie, brilliant film. Probably a little bit of the Zodiac Killer as well, with the Riddler leading things here.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah,
amazing.
it definitely
And then
feels like
also
a
the other,
Fincher Batman movie. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's probably the closest thing we'll ever get to one like that. But there's also a good Fincher. I think Fincher did this one. It was called The Game in 1985,
Yeah.
or,
The
or
game, the
97.
game. Yes.
Yeah, and I guess
Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas is trying to figure out what one he doesn't think. It's like a little bit of the Truman Show. It's like a detective show as well, or a movie. He's trying to get clues and figure out what's going on.
Curiously, Batfleck's original script was supposedly inspired by the game.
Yeah.
Fincher's The Game.
Yeah. So like the reason
So
I'm
there's a
bringing
lot of
up those
connections.
movies is because this Batman seems to be solving a mystery, and there seems to be clues left. And I actually think the Riddler is helping him. I don't think the Riddler is outright villain. I think he's trying to expose a bigger thing that's going on.
Yeah.
Court of
Maybe
Owls.
affected him and his
Court of
family.
Owls. 110% Court of Owls. That's
Yeah.
I was in doubt before. The sins of the father and everything is pointing to 110% Court of Owls. I think he's going for an overarching narrative of Court of Owls, but it will be like a movie like a trilogy, and the conclusion will be like the finale of the Court of Owls.
Yeah.
But I think this is going for that kind of vibe. So 110%. Can I just say two things here? Number one, love the brutality. Again, you'll see the double standards. If Battinson does the brutality, oh Batman, and then Batfleck
But
does it,
they're
oh it's not
fine.
Batman. But okay, that apart, guys, that cape scene at the end when he's walking with the fire, wasn't that the scene from BVS with the car crash?
Amazing.
I mean, that is literally a Snyder. I was expecting his cape to like come to his like feet, it's
Yeah.
Snyder, and that is going to be there in the movie. Like it cuts right there with the title and all. That is such a Snyder scene. Like, I mean, I loved that scene. I loved lots of those him taking lots of gunshots. That scene in the darkness when the like people are shooting at him reminded me of that scene from Rogue One, the Vader scene. Like he in the darkness and it lights up the saber. It's similar. Like he's standing in the line. Like you can only see Pattinson because they're shooting at him. Lots of gunshots. I think he takes. This is the most
He
gunshots
takes
I've seen a
loads.
cinematic Batman take.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love that. I think I love the fact that Riddler is finally getting justice as a character in live action. He's my favorite Batman villain, even though Joker is there. But second favorite, you can say Batman villain. I think he was really underutilized, and I'm really happy that Riddler is getting some justice. Uh, as Mar rightly said, he's definitely helping Batman. He's just fooling around, and he's obviously there's a court of owls thing involved. In the first trailer, even they had the owl card, which I think Gordon hands over to Batman. And other than that, Selina obviously looks great. That one shot with the sunlight, the both standing there, you can see the silhouette. It's like a beautiful shot. Loved the movie. Loved the cape on, man. I love the cape flapping. I'm a huge fan of that. And uh, again, Batmobile looks cool. I had my initial doubts with the Batmobile, but I liked it in this one.
Yeah, and
Brian.
also I just want to say something.
Oh, go ahead.
The relationship between Zoe Kravitz and Robin Pattinson seems to be pretty on point as well. Like I like just how close they are together. because
Yeah.
it took a while in The Dark Knight Rises for Catwoman and Batman to actually get together that way until the end of the movie. But it looks like these two will be closer throughout, which is not bad to see. But that
Of
was a
course,
great
she's
shot.
pregnant by his child, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Zoe Kravitz is
She's
pregnant
on
by. That is such a-
I haven't seen the timeline yet because obviously we're streaming now, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people are just, fangirling about those screenshots of that
Of
scene.
course. Yeah. It's. I saw two tweets just before I logged in. So yeah.
Brian, what did you think?
I love it, man. Everything that Matt Reeves is putting out so far is just absolutely phenomenal with this stuff. He's batting 1,000, so to speak. If you're a baseball fan, it's just perfect. I don't think he's done anything wrong yet. I'm somebody that thinks Batman's a little bit oversaturated, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think WB is just putting too much on his shoulders and kind of forcing it down the throat of people, even in the books. There's more comic books that are related to Batman than any other character, and now they're just doing it with the movies. So, but even still,
And
even with that
games.
said, what's that? Oh yeah, and games, definitely games. But even with all that said, I'm still looking forward to it. I still want to see it. You'd be kind of a fool not to want to see it because the way it's being presented.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Rokan?
I fucking love that trailer so much. To me, it's got what I had expected when I heard Matt wanted to do a long Halloween-esque adaptation. It's dark, it's terrifying, it's got a lot of mystery to it, and I especially like seeing a more unhinged Batman. You know what I mean? Like Matt described Bruce as basically just kind of like a carefree rock star. He lives like a carefree rock star, which is great because that is kind of like, you kind of expect Batman and Bruce in that sense to kind of like live that way, considering the fact that, he goes out at night and he pummels criminals, he dresses like a bat, like he's insane. So I like that they're kind of like leaning into that more. But my biggest takeaway from that trailer was I am so hyped to see Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. I've been wanting to see kind of like the definitive Catwoman, because I look at it like this. I got my definitive Batman with Ben, but I haven't gotten I haven't felt like I've gotten the definitive Catwoman yet. Never disrespect to Anne Hathaway or Michelle Pfeiffer. They're incredible.
Halle Berry?
Let's not talk about that.
Dude, that
So-
was like an Axel Brown movie. Okay, I mean, the only parts worth watching were on mute. I mean,
I've tried to block that movie in my memory, but
as I said, I can't block the movie visually because Halle Berry. I don't remember anything else about that.
I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you. But yeah, so I mean, like with someone, so when I heard Zoe Kravitz was cast as Catwoman, I was like, that's perfect. And seeing her in this trailer, the way she's interacting with Batman, like I'm looking at kind of going like, that is Catwoman from the Arkham games. That is, and from the animated series. So I'm super excited. I'm so glad we don't have to wait too long. March is literally right around the corner. And yeah, also I hope that this one's rated R.
Mm. Yeah.
I don't see how they can. I don't see how they can.
The budget is low, actually, because I looked into it. The budget is $110 million. So, yeah. So, I mean, in that ballpark, they could pull out an R-rated movie, because Suicide Squad was like $140 million.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I just hope for R rating.
Sean?
I mean, when I watched that thing, I was like, that was the highlight of DC FanDome for me. I mean, I think the main thing that really stood out in that trailer, I think a couple others of you guys have mentioned it, but just the sheer brutality of Rob's Batman. I mean, when they were out there saying that this Batman is like in his fighting, he's really raw and unsanitized. I mean, you really see that. One shot in particular that really stood out to me was I mean, we see that Batman's beating down a thug, and he's on, or a thug or a Riddler or whoever, and he's on the ground, and he keeps on beating him. Catwoman is right behind him, and she is scared. Like, she's scared, and you can just see his hand keep going down, and he's continuously just beating this guy to a pulp. And I'm just like this guy has some problems, but like, I really want to see them. I mean, I don't know if Matt's going to go in this direction, but I really want to see this Batman, get that no kill, the code, just from this. I feel like this Batman's really young, and I feel like he's more reckless in what he does. I feel like he's just out there. He has these problems, and he just wants to solve them. We also saw that near the beginning of the trailer when he sees Riddler in prison, and he loses it, and he starts punching the glass. And I feel like I just like that short-tempered. This is a young Batman. He doesn't care. His mission, he just wants to get to it. He doesn't want to pass through all these people. These people are just in the way. Who cares? Beat them to a pulp. Leave them on the ground. You're just in my way. And I really love that. And I think this aesthetic of the Batman, of it being more of this noir, detective-driven film. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything else. Like, this is like absolutely like exactly what I wanted. And Matt is going to do a great job with this. I can't wait till March.
He's definitely coming across as the, I guess you could say, like the baby rattlesnake. He's just he's angry, and when he starts and attacks you, he unloads everything. The baby rattlesnake can't control their venom.
Yeah,
he hasn't learned to control himself yet. So
isn't this the first time? Sorry. Isn't this the first time that we saw Andy Serkis as Alfred? I don't think he was there in the first trailer, right?
Yeah.
Great.
He was not in the first one. I don't even think he had any voiceovers, right?
He had a voiceover. He was like
he had a voiceover, but I don't think he looked good as Alfred. Andy Serkis as Alfred looks good. I just want one more thing. Have they cast Martha and Thomas Wayne for this movie? I can't seem to recall.
No. They probably
so we're not getting a Wayne death scene again.
I think we will. Be like a flashback, but I don't think they're gonna tell us. It's probably gonna be like a surprise cameo or something.
Maybe.
Probably.
But
maybe.
This Batman, like for me, still feels like a Batfleck prequel. I don't know why.
Yeah, it does.
It gives off that kind of angry, the same like energy, It feels like that, and it very like you could easily put it there. It doesn't need to be, I know, but it feels a bit like that. Also, one more like thing that I hope the movie or rather Matt Reeves' Batman universe does is to never have Joker in it.
I agree.
I don't think they need the Joker. If he is going for a trilogy, Riddler, you have go for Dr. Freeze in the second one, and the third could be the conclusion of the Court of Owls. Would be perfect. You don't need Joker. You don't even need Bane. He's probably gonna have to bring in Joker for the second one because of popular pressure, because this movie is gonna do fucking well. I really hope they don't. I just don't want the Joker in this one.
I really want to see Mr. Freeze.
I'd much rather see Matt build up to like Harvey to Two-Face and establish the friendship between Bruce and Harvey Dent in the sequel, and then third one transform to Two-Face.
Yeah, I would love his take on Dr. Freeze. Matt Reeves could do Dr. Freeze, like he's a tragic character, and Reeves is great at doing those. We saw it in the trilogy. So I really hope Dr. Freeze needs some justice after Arnold Schwarzenegger's brilliant portrayal. So he's a very tragic character, man. I think in this Reeves like noir verse, imagine a snowy kind of the second movie is a set in Christmas, and the snowy movie kind of like Batman Returns with the whole snow vibe, and then you have a Dr. Freeze story in that. One of the villains. So I think it will work.
Yeah, and knowing that
Penguin, I think is going to be long-standing. How good is like the makeup on Colin Farrell's Penguin?
Oh my god! I just want to say
nuts.
I just want to say about Colin Farrell's Penguin. I know I haven't heard that too many complaints, but I just want to say that he's not a traditional Penguin. He's more. When I look at him, I think of Al Capone. Like he's like this New York gangster. He's like, hey, come on, tough guy. Don't like. I just
He
fucking
doesn't have
love
the
it.
Irish accent or whatever.
Yeah.
Penguin. I don't know. For some reason, you have Irish accent.
I absolutely love it. I mean, it just fits that world. I mean, he's like this big, like New York gangster. He's like, don't mess with me.
I've always loved that part of Batman. Like even in Batman Begins, he had Falcone and Maroni, and even in the Gotham TV show, they had that. So I always loved that, mob and gangster aspects of the Batman stories, and I'm so glad that that is back in this movie.
Yeah, me too.
He's definitely going to have multiple villains in each of the movies, because this one we have Penguin, we have Riddler.
There are 6 villains actually in this movie.
Supposedly Firefly is in this
villain
one, right?
Batman's fighting with. And in the next one, who knows? You could have Two-Face, you could have Clayface, you could have Killer Croc. And the third one, you could have 4 or 5 as well. So I think we're getting, this is the first Batman thing we're getting that will have the rogue.
Supposedly has 6 villains, right? This one.
Yeah.
Who do we have? Who are they all?
Riddler, Penguin, Two-Face,
Mad Hatter,
and then there's Mad Hatter.
Oh, that's right.
Yes,
oh,
the
Twiddledee and
twins.
Tweedledum.
Yeah.
Supposedly Firefly is supposed to be in this one.
Yes, and Firefly. Yeah, that's correct.
I don't know who's been cast as that, but supposedly he's gonna be there.
It's not revealed yet, so they are.
I don't know how he would fit in this noir thing, though. I would.
I think they're saying.
I don't think they will be prominent in this movie.
Yeah, I think they're gonna save a couple of them as surprise. Especially like the likes of especially Firefly. I think they're just gonna leave that as like a fan Easter egg or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably some crazy arsonist,
it's like
light shirt on fire, like something.
Yeah, probably maybe like an opening scene where that man has to go and stop an arsonist or something like that.
Yeah. Good work.
Or Scarecrow in the Dark Knight and in Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
He just popped up. Random deaths.
So I loved all the panels. I was very surprised, and some of them were better than the others, but overall I did enjoy it a lot, and I thought that this fandom was a pretty good time to watch it, and I am looking forward to these movies. Shazam, not so much. That one kind of was underwhelming for me, but apart from that one, I'm definitely looking forward to The Flash the most, and then Black Adam, and the Batman, and also Aquaman, of course. So yeah.
Probably the biggest, next biggest budget is probably the Peacemaker.
We have to talk. Listen, we have to talk about Peacemaker.
No,
Go ahead, Maher.
Well.
Thank you.
I'll leave that
Thank
for tomorrow night
you.
show. I go into more detail.
I couldn't bear talking about that.
But I'm just saying it has to be. It's like a mini movie.
They had
budget,
Flula Bor
cast,
in the
director,
beginning,
like, that's
and he was saying like, "Why can't I have my own show?" I'm like, "Yes, please give Flula Borg Javelin his own show. He's a much more interesting and much more deserving character than Peacemaker."
Absolutely not. He was annoying in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, but Peacemaker was much more annoying through the entire movie. At least Javelin had the
Peacemaker had the best scene in the movie.
Peacemaker's one of the most interesting.
Peacemaker had the best scene in the movie.
I said, do you guys also want to talk about?
I think Najeed, you and I are like
returns,
and you're suffering from like
sleep
deprivation or something.
Guys, I'm serious. One of the best lines in comic book movie history is when Rick Flag says,
Peacemaker had the best scene in the movie.
That's
yeah, but the best scene was Rick Flag doing the scene, right? It wasn't Peacemaker doing the scene.
He was in it.
Boring character.
He was in it.
Just in his acting.
Yeah.
Milton should have had his own series. I would have watched a Milton series like straight away. Not than a Peacemaker.
Yeah, but seems like a big star.
I was gonna say, like, you guys.
I won't say anything because it's Amrish's birthday. So
gotta be nice.
Yeah.
like
Don't make him cry on his birthday.
I agree
You
with
can
him
say anything
today.
you want, but I have no way like
that comedy.
Peacemaker. I can shit on him all day long. Like, any other character in that movie, any other character.
The comedy John Cena did there on was it on Amazon? What was it called? Where they're on holiday and they meet this
It was called
couple.
Holiday, I
You guys
think.
watch that? What app was it on? Hulu? Yeah, it was on Hulu. It was something holiday, but that was one of the biggest viewed films on Hulu, and they're making a sequel. But I'm saying John Cena, like box office with WWE, was always big, and like that was kind of streaming. Now Peacemaker's a streaming show, so that might stand to him on HBO Max. More people might tune in. John Cena, and he has that attractability. So I think Peacemaker could do probably better
It's
than
probably going to be a decent enough show. I mean, because I have my issues with James Gunn, but he knows how to get characters, like especially weird characters, right? I don't like the character in this case. That's my whole problem. My whole problem is not why is fucking Peacemaker getting a show instead of Batfleck. Okay, that issue's there. That is different, but that's a separate thing. My issue is the movie had many the chick who walks in saying Presidente Suarez, that girl deserves a more of a show than Peacemaker. Definitely deserves more of a show. But anyone,
Right, all right, that Ron just end the show.
no, Mar, I'm not taking digs at you. I know you like Peacemaker, but like,
No, she deserves to be in a film, just not a DC film.
no, well, like seriously,
I'm
man. I
sorry.
mean, I'm not on board with the character at all. So sorry if you like the character. But
We can see
I
that.
don't agree. It's the character I have an issue with, not as to why Peacemaker, why not Birds of Prey or something. No, the character Peacemaker itself for me wasn't good.
That's okay.
Yeah. Well, overall, I did enjoy FanDome, like I said. And what did you guys think? Do you think that this was a good format as opposed to last year's? And should they continue this next year, or should they go back to the first one, the way they did that?
I think, except for including the TV series part in this, it was okay. I mean, it was good. I liked what they delivered. Like every major movie had some kind of feature to deliver. It wasn't just guys playing games on Zoom or something. Like last time, I remember the Suicide Squad panel, they were playing some quiz games.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't that. They had something to deliver. So they had actual content. So more of that, please. More like posters or anything, any behind the scenes material. So that is good. So they should just do more of that. And overall, it was good. I enjoyed it. Of course, would have loved some Zack Snyder Justice League representation, but okay, we know the situation there, so that's a bit too optimistic to expect. That yeah, I like what they had. Like everyone had some sort of production or some feature to deliver, and that's what you carry. It's forget about the fandom experience. Nobody cares. Like how much hype you generate is what people can take, screenshot, retweet, post on Instagram, post on TikTok. That is what is going to create hype for your product. So if you give them something to create that kind of material, create gifs or whatever, that is what would work.
Yeah.
This year, so everyone had to tune in and see, oh, what's on next? Oh, the games. When's the Batman? I'll watch this segment then. Like I was watching stuff I don't watch, like Supernatural, because I didn't know what was next. I was afraid to go to like the toilet or go make dinner because I didn't want to miss. I didn't know what was coming next. But I think they should do same format next year, only schedule and say like games, animation, TV shows in the movie.
Yeah.
And not as many people may watch.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that this year's FanDome was a little, and last year's was kind of had the same issue. It's just that the schedules are it just kind of blends together and kind of just feels like one continuous best of stuff you're not interested in. I wish they really just did separate it into here's the movies, here's the TV, here's the games, because realistically, a lot of the viewers that watch or who want to watch the TVs TV shows and the upcoming stuff from the CW that are not that excited. I mean, like the guys from that. I'm not sure about you guys, but for me, for example, I'm really excited for the movies, but I'm not that excited about like, you know, Flash season, whatever season they're on, or like Doom Patrol or Titans. Like I would rather have that in its own chunk so I can just watch what I want to watch and just leave. Because my stream was basically on all day today, and I got like just the movies and the 2 games that I wanted, and
I had to get some sleep in just to attend the stream. So because of the thanks to the Titan panels and all, I could get a decent amount of sleep. Thanks to all that.
Yeah, good. But I my batch is about to die, so I'll probably go before we end. But I want to thank all the guys.
Thank you for having me on.
I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you, man. Thank you for joining,
Been wanting
guys.
to come on for a long while.
Just great passion and stuff. So I like Casey.
Yes.
Casey called out the show. We're
Yes.
back tomorrow night. Live, Casey, are we? Yeah, we'll break down movies we've seen and other news that's dropped as well. Maybe talk a bit more about other DC properties that we didn't talk about tonight, like better.
You can blame me.
Yes.
I don't mind.
See you then, guys.
All right. Thank you for joining, everyone. See you guys.
Thank you for having me on.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
See you guys.
Bye.
Enjoy.
Have a good night.